Welcome back to New to Medical Device Sales. I am your host, Jacob McLaughlin, and this is going to be short, sweet, to the point, my friends. It is December 31st today. Tomorrow is the new year. It is going to be 2023. And I just wanted to come on here to just send you guys some encouragement, some goal setting. I've been on a couple calls this week with some mentees. I've been on some calls with some people in our course, and they really wanted to talk about goal setting. And I just wanted to come on here to just give you guys a little bit of encouragement, a little bit of questions that I think you guys can use to reflect in your own lives, because this is only going to help you, or not only going to help you in medical device sales, but also just in life, where you guys are trying to go. So I just wanted to come on here and just give you a little bit of encouragement and give you guys just something to think about. So number one is, I just want to give you guys a question that helped change my life. And it was, what do you want your life to look like? I want you guys to pause on that real quick and think, what do you want your life to look like? What is it, right? Because I say that, and 99.9 of you cannot give me that answer. 99.9% of people can't give me that answer. And they don't know what they want out of life. The number one thing I always hear is, I want to be happy. Great. So what's happiness? Then they can't define happiness. And then we wonder why we're not happy. We're anxious, we're depressed, we feel like we haven't accomplished things because we're saying what we want to do, but we can't even accomplish it. So to give you guys real quick, an idea for me is what has helped dictate my life these last 3 years, especially, is when people asked, hey, Jake, what do you want your life to look like? And I wanted complete freedom. And what that meant was I wanted freedom in time and I wanted freedom financially. And so that's what's led me to make the decisions I've had throughout my career, throughout my decisions these last 3 years to join medical device sales, to take me where I wanted to go. Because as a personal trainer, I was doing good, but here was the whole conversation, is I could go be a personal trainer. Let's say I make 150K. So that's great, but now I got my money, so I'm financially free, but I never got my time back because I'm still having to train these people. I have to be there, right? And so I could go get another job that actually gives me a lot of freedom, but maybe I don't get the money. So then I have my time, I have freedom, but I'm not financially free because, I'm making under 100K and now I have to really watch what I'm doing. And again, I'm not saying that people live off of 50, right? So everybody's different, but I just knew what I wanted. And so I want you guys to really ask yourself, number one is, what do you want your life to look like? Because that's going to make you dictate what you do, what your moves are, what career you want. For example, I had a conversation with one of my mentees today. It's like, hey, do you want to be married? Great. What do you want your life to, do you want to have kids? Great. What do you want your life to look like? Are you going to be working at all times? Right? Because I've always said, nobody will tell me what I can and can't do, and nobody will ever tell me I can't take my kid to the park at 2:00. Right? It's a lot easier when you're like myself and you're single and don't have any kids. So we're not worried about that right now. But what I've talked to people is I'm setting up a life for myself. So when that does come and that does happen, and I go into that season of life of being married, having kids, and being a father, number one, that's the thing I can't look forward to enough. That is the reason I'm here. I can't wait to be a dad one day. But number two is, nobody's going to tell me what I can and can't do. And if they ever did, I would tell them to go kick rocks, and they would be out and I'd be doing my own thing. And that's what I've set my life up to be, right? Even today, I can sit here and tell you guys, I'm so fortunate. This is never a brag to be like, oh, look at me. But it's the honest truth is the reason I can talk to you guys the way I do, the reason I can say the stuff I do is because I have complete freedom on my life. If I ever want to just say, screw it, I'm out, and I don't want to work for the next 5 years, I can do that, right? And when you're able to do that, that gives you a whole different point. But I would never be to where I'm at today if I didn't ask myself that question, what do I want my life to look like? So that's number one, I want you guys to really ask yourself. Number two, I want you guys to say, what is happiness? Define what I just talked about. What is happiness? Because again, everyone says, I want to be happy. And then I'm like, what does that look like? Because happiness is a feeling for a lot of people. And when you're admitting that, hey, I just want to be happy, you're admitting that you're actually not happy and that you need to be happy, that you're actually in a depressed state, that you're not in a good state, and that you got to try to be there, but you can't even define what that happiness is. And so the thing I just tell you guys about is real quick is, I was sick with COVID, like I told you guys this last week, and I told my buddy, at that moment, when I was so sick, I could barely keep my eyes open. The only couple things I wanted, number one, the only thing I wanted was to be healthy again. I wanted to have my health. I wanted to be feeling good. I didn't want to be sick with chills and exhausted. That was number one. Number two, I just wanted to take my dog for a walk because he was getting so mad that he would wake me up, and just being able to spend. So there's number two, but especially number three, it was the relationships. It was the people checking in on me. Hey, you sick? Hey, you need anything? Those were the most important things to me. So being able to be healthy, being able to like just be with my dog and like have our life, but also have my relationships, my friends, my family, people checking in on me, that meant way more to me than any money. That's why I told my buddies at that moment, I didn't care how much was in my bank account. I didn't care what my business was doing. I didn't care I just wanted to not be feeling like death, right? And so you guys need to really ask yourself, what is happiness? Because that's going to dictate where you go and what you do with your life, as well as, what do you want your life to look like? So what's going to make you happy? Because if you can define those things right now, I can sit here and tell you, I already know what makes me happy. I already did it this morning. It's a Saturday. I went and got a workout in. I woke up, had my devotion time, just eased into it, took my dog for a walk, went to the gym, worked out, came home, did a little bit of work, got on some calls with some people. Like that's happiness to me, right? So that's where I just encourage you guys, find out what that happiness is, because that's going to dictate where you want to go. And then also just being able to understand, what are your goals, being able to have big goals. And so I made a post about this about this the other day on my LinkedIn, but I just wanted to come to you guys and say this to you. The 2 lessons I really learned in 2022 that I really wanted to share, there's so many that I learned. But number one is, if you guys are watching on YouTube, I'm sharing a thing that sits on my desk, and it's of my buddy who I lost to brain cancer this year in May. And that moment changed my life, because it showed me no matter how young we are, life's not promised. And so number one, the lesson I can share with you guys is tomorrow's not promised. Start living like it, start loving like it, start acting like it. And this is what I always tell people. The number one thing I hear is like, oh, I can't do that because, well, guess what? There's 100% chance you're going to die. 100% chance you will not be here in the future. And so why are you going to start living? Like, people will be like, hey, Jacob, how are you so confident? It's because I'm willing to try everything to say I tried it. And they're like, what if you failed? And then I can be like, at least I tried. And I don't believe anything's failure, because I can always learn from what didn't work. The only time it's failure is if you didn't learn anything and you just decide to give up. But that's why I'm able to take high risk things. And I've put myself in positions where I can do that financially. So that would be my number one, but knowing that you guys are going to die. So if you're not happy with what you're doing, if you're not happy with the job that you have, why are you going to keep doing it? Because you care about what your mom says? Like, is your mom happy? Like that, this is always my joke. Like, those are the real truths. So just being able to understand that, hey, tomorrow's never promised. And then number 2, relationships are everything. Relationships are the only thing that I talk about that you can go get more money. You can go get another job. You can go work on your career, but your relationships are going to dictate your life, because we've all heard it. The 5 people you spend the most time around is what your life will look like, or who you'll become. So, right. And they've even done averages for even like financial incoming or in earnings. So it's like, if the average person you hang out with made, like, let's just say it was a range of like $70,000 to $90,000, they did it. And they found that they were within like $3,000 of every single person in that friend group. And so that's, again, just showing you guys that the level of who you hang out with really does matter. It's going to dictate your life. And also, they're going to help you be successful, or they're going to tear you down. And I've talked about that a lot in relationships. Is that person making you want to be better? Are those people challenging you, making you grow? Or are they pulling you down? Are they saying the things that you want to do is stupid? Are they not believing in you? And if that's the case, it doesn't mean you have to go throw them out and you have to break up or do whatever it is in those relationships. But it does mean, like, maybe you need to distance yourself from certain people. Maybe you need to spend less time instead of spending every single day with them. Maybe you're spending once a week or once a month with them. So something to understand there. And then also with that, they make the times that are tough easier, and they make the good times even better. Right. And so, like, that's something I just wanted to say to you guys, encouraging. So I just wanted to come to you guys to say, as we go into 2023, what are your goals? What do you want to accomplish? What do you want to change about yourself? What do you want to change about your life? Because we sit in this life and we always say, hey, we're perfect. That's just not true. We have places where we can grow. And when you start feeling stagnant, you start feeling depressed, you start feeling not happy, it's because we're usually not trying to grow. We're trying to stay where we're at. And the only thing that's going to, I can promise you, is change. And that's going to happen in life. And so what I would actually tell you is write down your goals, write down your mission. Where do you want to be? Make a vision board, do those things that take you where you want to be. And again, just here, you guys, I want to sit here and tell you, and just, again, be an encouragement for medical device sales, because I have this. Everybody told me I wouldn't break in with no sales experience. Everybody told me I want to be able to work for the largest company in the world. Everybody told me that I want to be able to perform from take the lowest performing to the top 10. Everybody told me I don't have enough experience to go work at a startup and be a regional sales manager. And yet time and time and time again, I've been able to go and do that. So it's the encouragement to you guys, whatever you want to do in your life, set unrealistic freaking goals and go after them. Start doing things, because I'm sitting here telling you as a kid who moved out here 4 years ago with $1,200 to his name, lived off $30 a week, woke up on an air mattress every single day for 6 months because I had a hole in it and I had no money to go buy a new one, that you can make whatever you want to have happen. I got into medical device sales, and again, I've been very fortunate. I've been very blessed, but I look back on my life and it's like I've been able to make more money in a month than I used to make all year. And that's because of the hard work, believing in myself, even though every single person that I told that I wanted to come here when I had no sales experience told me I want to be able to do it. Those same people tell me that I want to be able to go work for these companies, and that they're the same people calling me, asking me how I got there. So if you are wanting to break into medical device sales, I don't care what your background is. I don't care what your story is. You're able to do it as if you just commit. And you can do anything in this life, and it's the thing I'll leave it on for so we keep it short, but you can do anything in this life if you are just willing to work hard and know that it takes time. It might take you want it to happen in 6 months, it might take you 2 years, but if you can accept that it's going to take time and you're going to work your face off and you're going to continue to work hard and do whatever it takes to be successful, you will be successful. If you continue to push through all the hard times, if you push through the naysayers and everybody that tells you that you're not going to do it, and you just decide to bet on yourself and believe in yourself, you will be able to get wherever you want to go. And then that's where I want you to set even more unrealistic goals, because here I am telling you guys that I've accomplished more in the last year than I ever thought I would in my whole life. And now that's only set me up to the, hey, now what else can I accomplish? Put yourself in those scary situations that you don't know if you can do it, because here's the whole thing. It's not failure, man. It's just if you learn from it, right? And I'm just going to stand up here and tell you guys, for example, this isn't just the easy. The finances is always the easiest. But let's say you're not making any money and you want to make $20,000 a month. Okay, how about you shoot for $30,000 a month? And let's say you don't hit that goal, and maybe you went from making $5,000 to now you're making $9,000. Well, guess what? You're a lot closer than if you would have just said, hey, I'm just going to make $6,000. Those are the reasons you need to set goals, because it's even if you miss the moon, you land on the stars. So I want to encourage you guys, go after your dreams, go after your goals, make 2023 the year for you, and don't worry about what everybody else says, because again, eagles don't fly with pigeons, and everybody's going to tell you can't do something until you do it. I hope you guys have a happy new year. Just know I'm here with you. I want to encourage you, and get after it and go live your dream life.